Yeah, we'll stay and hang around with us.
The Tone King.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. What's up, Wire Nuts?
Hey, gang, how's everybody doing tonight? Oh man, big show tonight. Big show tonight. Wow.
He's speechless. That never happened before.
Right. All right. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing real good, man. I'm getting all my Christmas shopping finished up. I'm gonna have it all knocked out here in a couple of days. How about you?
Attaboy. What's that? What's Christmas shopping?
It's Chris hasn't even started yet. Oh no. Man, we got people waiting in the wings they're like crashing the doors trying to get to the front of the stage. Who all's out there?
Oh man, well let's see. We got I see you, Mr. Guitar Hack. Let's see. Let me just go all the way up to the top. First one in the chat way earlier today was Metalhead 50. How you doing, buddy?
You got to give the first guy a shout out for sure.
First guy, yeah. Joe Hervey was number 2. Upside Down was 3. Lawrence was in pretty early
hey,
too.
Lawrence, what's up, buddy?
Lefty Mike and Paul Lou and Terry Himes. And R2R3, how you doing, R2? Hope you're doing well this evening. Let's see who else we got in here. I see Phil Mosley. How you doing, Phil?
Phil Mosley.
Guitar Spark.
The Count.
Glenn, how you doing?
The late night count.
Give me a call tomorrow, Glenn. We'll see if we can hook up on those pickups.
Must be Black Wednesday, Glenn says.
Six String Brian, how you doing, Brian? Good
What's
show.
Up, Brian? What's up, buddy? Brian, that box is lit. It's in the mail, bro.
Chris, the Guitar Pits here. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Having a good night.
I just saw your video today. That was a good one.
Dale Palmer, how you doing, Dale? Good to see you. Taking guitars. Our buddy Kalen, as always.
Chickens flying the bat signal.
Yeah. Crowbar. Good evening, Mr. Crowbar. Grumpy Mike, how you doing? Let's see. And I think I'm down to the bottom. Oregon Steve. I think I got everybody so far.
Did you say Upside Down?
Yeah. Upside Down was like number 4.
All right, cool, man. He's been waiting around. Well, man, you ready to do this thing? Let's don't keep everybody waiting. Let's don't keep the guests waiting.
No. So our guest needs no introduction. We all, I think we're all sub to it. If you're not sub to this guy, he's on a mad dash for 100K. He's got some cool stuff in the pipes. I'm not going to say anything about that. It's so close. What are we at? 99.9, I think now.
It needs like 4.
Needs like 4. So if you haven't subbed to our guest, make sure you hop over to his channel. 99,967. Wow. We are 33 away from the 100K.
Just everybody create a second account.
just go
We'll make it roll over tonight.
We'll make it roll over. But anyway, this gentleman's has become what I consider a friend, and I asked him a few weeks if he would be willing to come on the show and do a show with us, and he gladly and humbly accepted, and I'm super humble, and I appreciate him.
I was like, you did what?
And yeah, I appreciate him giving up his time on a Wednesday night. I know he's a busy man, but without further ado, Tone King.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Tone King on the live wires.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Thank you.
What's up, TK?
You guys are too much.
We have fun.
I do love the Wayne. I did love the Wayne's World intro, though. That was awesome.
You did like the Wayne's World intro.
pretty
Good.
awesome.
Yeah, that was that I've been working on. I'm not the best video editor by any means or stretch the imagination, but we thought it was funny. So
No, that was great. Thank you.
we like to laugh. We
very
like to laugh
kind of
on
you
this
guys.
show.
And so many familiar faces. To do a quick hello to everybody in the chat right now.
Throw one of those bad boys out there
One,
for
one
us.
of those bad boys right there.
There
And
you
guys, I
go.
just want to say I'm humbled to be on your show. I'm excited to be here. I'm looking forward to what we're going to talk about. And so everybody knows in the chat, I'm going to be surprised. So we're going to be surprised together. I don't know what the agenda is.
Well, we have a show that is similar week to week. So we have segments in our show. And one of the first segments that we do in our show is we quiz our guest. We call it the guest Q&A. You'll notice the umlauts, Tone King. This
Yeah, I like
show
the
has
umlauts.
this has a distinct motley crew
Motley
coming
Crue,
out of
yeah.
retirement feel to it. If you noticed that earlier, the contract. Oh, we're tearing that up.
We're blowing that up. Yeah.
Yeah, we're tearing the contract up tonight.
Brian, real
So-
quick, I do have a quick question for TK.
Okay,
Brad Miller wanted to know. He asked me earlier. He's not going to be able to be in because he's still at rehearsal. But he wanted to know if you had the chance to try the Jet Micro for your HX Stomp.
The Jet Micro?
Mm-hmm.
What's the Jet Micro?
Not a clue.
Brad Miller knows what it is. Brad Miller's been on the show.
Maybe if Brad comes back in once he's done with rehearsal, he can enlighten us. I'm not real sure.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you Google?
I just did. Somebody told me about this. It's a 3-button MIDI controller that I guess opens up more options.
Okay.
On the HX Stomp, which is interesting.
plug
So
it back.
the short answer is no. The longer answer is I've been fiddling with the looper quite a bit. I recently did a video on the looper, and that may actually provide itself very useful because there's three foot switches on the HX Stomp, but if you're doing looping and you want to have like a bass and acoustic and a clean electric, so something like that could probably be very useful if you're using it in a looper scenario. I got to check that out.
Okay. Cool. Sorry for that interruption, but I wanted.
No, that's all right. No, sometimes
Definitely
we had a question. Great. We like the questions. If you have more questions for TK, light them up in the chat. Dave will keep an eye on it while I'm kind of asking him our scripted questions here. We're going to start off with the first one for you, TK.
Yeah.
And we're going to go all the way back. So we want to know, and these are questions that all of our guests get, more or less. We change them up kind of, but this way we get to know the people in the community this way.
Sure.
So we want to know, how long have you been playing guitar, and who or what was your original inspiration to pick it up and try it out?
So it's an embarrassing answer because I should be a lot better than I am.
No, there's no
I've been
embarrassing
playing guitar
answers
for like
here.
3 years.
Me too. Cool. You're way better than I am, though, for 3 years.
So I've been playing since I've been a teenager. I should say I've been noodling since I'm a teenager. When I was maybe 15 or 16, which was, I guess, Judas.
Sophomore in high school.
Not
freshman,
even.
sophomore.
No, I wasn't even there yet. I was in, so 6th grade. How old are you in 6th grade?
12.
Yeah,
12.
so about 12 years old. A buddy of mine had I love the music. In fact, the first song I ever learned how to play was Revelation by Iron Maiden, which was basically 3 power chords,
Yeah.
And he had a Hondo guitar, for those older folks that remember Hondo.
We'll be segueing back to Hondo later in the show. Continue,
okay.
please.
I went to his house. He was a buddy of mine. We're still friends. And, you're blown away the first time you actually hear the sound of an electric guitar. And I was sold from then. Never really took formal lessons here and there. Even since I've been doing YouTube, I've taken lessons with Robert Baker and
Yeah, me too.
stuff like that. And
Yeah.
in fact, Lawrence Petros in the the chat has been he and I have been emailing back and forth with some licks and riffs and stuff, and he's been helpful. So I'm always happy to take a suggestion when I could get one. You know,
Lawrence is Dave's teacher, and Lawrence has been a guest on the show, and I've had several of his pedals. So yeah, we're in the LPD family.
And Brian, you've had dinner with Lawrence as well.
I've had dinner with. I bought Lawrence dinner. I didn't just have it; I bought it.
That's true facts.
I am hoping I will get to meet him in person at NAMM.
Well, he's a good dude, and I think he's going to be out there. That'll be fun. You're getting ready to go to California here soon, right?
Yeah.
For some sunshine and some guitars. That'll be fun.
That's
well,
right.
As a follow up to that first question, did you come from a musical family? Were your parents supportive in the whole playing the guitar thing, or did you figure it out on your own? You did it on your own, or how'd that all come about?
That's a good question. So my dad was actually in a doo-wop band.
Okay.
That's cool.
And they had some records released. So like he actually did like the primetime music thing. But that wasn't really an influence when I started listening to heavy metal at 12 years old. But I definitely got the genes, right?
Right.
When I was, I think, 5, kindergarten. How old are you in kindergarten? 5 or
Five, yeah.
5,
My parents bought a piano, upright, which I still have. It's down in my basement.
Oh, yeah.
And my parents got me lessons. So I took lessons probably for about 5 years on piano. And I hated it,
Oh, I hated it. My mom made me take them. I hated every moment. Spider-Man was on at the same time as my lessons. I didn't,
you'd have some teacher sitting to the left of me, and you have to it was just not fun as a kid. Like as an adult I could appreciate it. What's interesting, as an adult I clearly, like, vividly remember those lessons, and at 5 years old, 6 years old, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. Totally the same boat.
I had 2 teachers. I had one teacher who I walked to her house, and I had another teacher that was a man that actually came to our house because my mom could play great, and then we had a piano too. But I was like into Kiss. I was like, there ain't no piano in the Kiss album.
Right.
Mom?
Yeah.
What are you doing to me?
We were learning like Mozart, Moonlight Sonata, all that stuff that is just
right. Did you have to play recitals?
No. This was old-fashioned. Guy comes to your house with the Melbay, or whatever the Melbay piano equivalent was, and take it from the top. Yeah.
Play the entertainer.
And I remember it's like if I was, because they teach you to sight read, and I was playing, and if you got it wrong, you'd be like, start over.
Yeah.
And keep starting over until I got it right. It's almost like militant.
Yeah. my first piano teacher, if you didn't curl your fingers, she kept a ruler and she'd smack your knuckles.
Wow.
And if you looked down at your hands to see where your hands were, she'd slap your hands.
They call Child Protective Services.
Nowadays you can't do any of that. But
today that's a law.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, TK. What was your very first guitar?
It was a V guitar. That my
really?
Parents bought at Sam Goody in the Staten Island Mall. It was a no-name V, but I remember the tag. I don't have the tag, but it was.
Is that an official brand? No name?
Well, no. It actually was made by a company called Saehan, Saehan.
Okay.
And I think I've Googled that company. I think there's still a factory somewhere in Korea.
Oh, okay, cool. So it was probably a fairly well-made guitar, even though it wasn't a name brand.
For the time, it was a good guitar. Because you have to remember, back in like 85, like the imports were not like they are today.
Right.
So I would say for an import, it was decent. But by today's standards, it was, Yeah,
you got to think back in 85, Korea was just coming online making guitars. Japan had been doing it for years, and by that time,
by then Japan was making everything good, though. They were making cars and TVs and stereos. Everything was good.
But by that point in time, the Japanese were making guitars so well, they were starting to command higher prices. And so the manufacturers started looking to cheaper labor. So they found Korea.
Right.
And so in that mid 80s, early mid 80s, they're just now starting to bring Korean manufacturing online, building guitars. So yeah, the Korean guitars were definitely not what they are today. That's for sure.
Yep.
TK, do you still have the No Name V?
I do. It's actually.
Oh,
up
you do?
there.
Really?
I do. It's gone through a lot of reiterations. I've had Grover tuners put on it. It's got an EMG 81 and an 85. I had a new pick guard cut. So it's got a couple of because remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, that was like amongst maybe 2 or 3 guitars that I had. So I played it. So when new
it's been played slightly. Wow, yep. I'm impressed that you still have it. That's cool.
I do.
That's cool because you have a big collection, but to have your very first guitar is
yep.
pretty neat. That's cool.
Still have that.
So this question is kind of along the same lines, but a little bit different. What was your very first album that you bought with your own money? Do you remember what your first album was?
I don't remember the first album I bought with my own money, but the first cassette tape I got that I really liked was
that counts.
Was Motley Crue. What was the first one?
First one was Too Fast for
Love.
Yeah.
I got that for my. It's funny. That's when I got a little. I think this was before I got my first guitar. My parents bought me a little cassette radio, like this little white cube thing.
Sure.
And
I had that.
and they had I think I had like a Billy Joel cassette tape, and I hated it.
Way too much piano, not nearly enough guitar.
Yeah, it was just like I don't want to listen to music my mom listened to,
Yeah,
and
top 40.
My cousin's girlfriend at the time, it's his wife now for many, many years, bought me a Motley Crue CD, and I'm like, yes.
Now we're talking.
The first
now we're
one,
talking.
I think that one of the earlier ones.
It had to be a reissue because when Livewire or Too Fast for Love, they put it out themselves, right? And then they got signed, and then Shout came out, and then their label put Too Fast for Love out.
No, this was before Shout.
So you got it before Shout. Well, that doesn't mean that. Yeah, it might have been after they got signed, didn't they? After they get signed, Dave, the label put the album out.
You're making me remember stuff.
Well, I know Too Fast for Love was actually put out by themselves. They literally the first pressing of it.
So I know there's been like four editions of it. The original edition was I think they had 1,000 presses, or 1,000. It was absolutely, it was 1,000, and unless you were in Hollywood at the time,
get one.
You didn't get one.
I think mine, because I still have the cassette tape. I think it says Electra.
So so it's Electra. So that's at least a second edition or third edition.
Yeah, so that's after they got signed,
right?
And then the label re-released it on the label. Yeah. But I don't think they remastered it or anything. I think it's exactly the same.
They had to change the album cover.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
There's 2 album covers for Shout at the Devils too.
Oh, really?
The one I have that's all black with the pentagram, and then there's also the second one is the faces on it,
right?
Because the pentagram didn't go over so great,
right?
Yep. Which was the plan all along. Right? Which was the plan all along. Do you still have? Well, it's a cassette tape, so it's probably worn out. You still have it. Okay, cool. You still has it.
Somebody in the comments.
You're a hoarder, aren't you?
No, I'm a collector. There's a difference.
There's a difference.
A collector keeps everything nice and organized, and there's actually value to what they collect.
We're hoarders just got it stacked up.
Has a pile of crap in the garage.
Excellent. All right, so
I convinced myself that everything I own I could actually sell.
Right, eventually. Yeah, for about you could sell it. You might not get all your money back out of it. I think we've all experienced that already.
You really don't want to sell it. That's the thing.
No, that's the thing. You don't want to. If you had to.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so this next question is kind of not the standard question that all of our guests gets because you're not our standard guest. So you are one of the original guitar and gear related YouTubers, original gangster, if you will. How did all that come to pass?
Yeah. So what's interesting is, if you remember back in the day, like at the birth of YouTube, if you wanted to hear what something sounds like if you went to a manufacturer's website, they all had little sound bites, sound clips.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at a trade show, a day job trade show, and someone told me about YouTube. And I had registered right then and there. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. So instead of just taking a sound clip of, your guitar or your amp, I could actually put a video camera. And now you don't have to have a reference. Like you don't have to rename the file because you're seeing what it is. And I was like, oh, it's a nice way to make a little library of your collection and how different things sound. Because that's how people used to sound. They would share sound clips.
Right.
And then, unbeknownst to me, people started commenting and liking. And, I was like, wow, like I didn't know that was a thing. I don't think anyone knew it's a thing. I think it came to be a thing.
So what you're kind of sort of telling me is it kind of happened by accident at the beginning. You didn't really realize it was going to turn into this thing.
Yeah, no, this was I didn't wake up one day saying, "Hey, I want to be a YouTuber." I don't even think that term
It probably didn't even exist.
In 2006.
It was the frog. It's putting the frog in the water and then just turning up the heat slow, right?
Right.
I mean, it's just it becomes what it is, And
I just went with it because I genuinely enjoy doing this. Anyone that's on YouTube, and I know there's a lot of YouTube people in here. Like, there's not a lot of money in, in doing this thing. Like when you look at your AdSense checks, you're like, well, I worked a lot, and that's but you got to really love it because it's a labor of love. I mean, we spend
most
hours.
of the people in our chat that are viewers of our show aren't to the point where we're monetized. We're making videos for fun. We may never get there. You know what I mean? But it's not something that we're concentrated on for most of us.
You gotta love doing this thing because I think it's you sink just a massive amount of time into it, and I think the reward isn't the check that you get from AdSense for like a couple of $100, right? I think the reward is this sort of thing, right? Where you could meet people, like-minded people you never met before. You could collaborate. You could meet people at trade shows, and like all these names in the chat, I know, more than half of them. And it's like, how do you know all these people? It's because we've built a community, and I think that's the reward, right?
Look at Dave and I. We have a show. We're 20 weeks into this show. We met each other in the chat. We've met once in person because I made a point to fly out there to meet him and hang out for a day. But I mean, I've got friends in Canada and friends in England. I know you got them all over the world from this thing. So that's really cool. That's really cool. Do you remember what your very first video that you ever posted was?
I do. It was I wish I still, actually, I don't wish I still had them, but if you're in the market for a little 1x10 combo amp, they're wonderful amps. It was a Marshall Reverb 12 and a Marshall Lead 12. And by the way, those amps are awesome, right? And they're made in the UK, like full-on British-made, little 1x10 combo amps, and they look like JCM 800 little combo amps.
Cool.
Are they tube or solid state?
Solid state.
Solid state. Okay.
I'll tell you what, the solid state stuff then, because remember, it wasn't like the saturated high gain stuff like you take like an Engel amp and a solid state one. To my ears, it doesn't work. But like a JCM 800 wasn't super high gain. It was just like a good crunchy rock. So Marshall did a phenomenal job with like their MOSFET series of, I'll tell you what, they sound pretty damn close. The Marshall solid state at the time versus the tube stuff at the time. And those little 1x10s, just sounded phenomenal. I went through many of them. It was that was always one of those items that I'd buy it, I'd sell it. I buy it, I'd sell it. Because you could, they go for the price of a pedal. You could buy one of those UK made amps for, $100, $150.
Wow.
But when someone comes along and says, "Hey, I'll give you $250 for that," you're like,
Yeah, okay.
and then you see another one show up for $125, and then you buy. It's just one of those. You'll always make $100 on that deal, amp. But right now, I don't have them anymore. But that was my first video.
Seen some people join the chat. Lars Guitars, True Shack's out there. Daniel Horsley, Dan,
Grandpa
New
Joe.
Jersey, Grandpa Joe, Janice,
Grandpa
Lala.
Joe.
How you doing, Janice? What's going on, BB Made? What's happening, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. So we're getting down to the last couple questions. Everybody gets these. I think there's going to be a lot of people in the chat that will be interested in your answers on the last one, because you're probably the first guest that we've had on the show that's had these kind of decisions to make. But the first one I'm going to ask you is, if you could possess anyone else's talent on the planet Earth for 24 hours, who would you choose?
Do I get the reward of their talent as well, or just the talent?
Whatever happens in that 24 hours is yours, brother.
Well, I would say Warren Buffett. Probably, if I could reap the reward of that.
Warren Buffett. Hey, we've had somebody listen. We had Bill Gates. Somebody said Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Usually we get a musician, but we've had other answers, right?
Well, that's why. Are we keeping this on topic, or are we talking in life?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Anybody
matter,
else's
whatever.
talent for 24 hours.
That's tough. If it was if this was a conversation with a genie that came out of a bottle, it would be somebody that's smart and a Bill
I think you
Gates.
just summed up our show.
Warren Buffett, some pioneer that just disrupted things.
Neil Armstrong, first man
Yeah.
to walk on the moon. That would be cool.
But that aside, I would say, just keeping this on topic of guitars, if I could have anyone's talent, I'd love to be a better guitar player. I think we all think that. No matter how good or how bad we are, we always want to be a little bit better. So I would say, probably from a handful of guitarists. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but, maybe, just one of my guitar heroes for a day type of thing could be a lot of fun. Being able to play what they play, maybe being able to play a venue like they've played, that type of thing.
The 24 hours that your hero played Madison Square Garden.
Exactly, right.
Jimmy Page for 24 hours in the day.
Randy
at
Rhoads
Madison
for
Square
24
Garden.
hours.
That could be a lot of fun, right?
Our buddy Waleed says he wants Pamela Anderson's talent for 24 hours.
I think he means he wants to be Tommy Lee for 24 hours.
Yeah, that's what he really means. That's exactly what he really means. All right, last question. So every guest gets this question, but you may be on the hot seat than anybody's ever been on.
Okay.
So we're going to strand you on a deserted island, but you have electricity. So you get to have some toys. So you get to take one guitar, one amp, one pedal, one album to listen to, and then you get one miscellaneous album or one miscellaneous luxury item. So, out of all your collection, what's the one guitar that you would take?
And it doesn't even have to be in your collection. It
It could be something you don't
guitar
own.
that you want or you've wanted all your life, whatever.
Well, it's interesting. Again, I may be overthinking this, but if I was on a deserted island, that probably means it's tropical. So
Yes.
I would probably go to Google and find out, who makes a full-on carbon fiber guitar, so I can actually enjoy it.
Yeah, you need a what do they call acacia?
Yeah.
One of those acacia carbon, like Guitar Pit, our buddy in the chat has. My guess was you would say that famous V back there.
Well, I don't know if that would be my deserted island guitar. It would have to be something that, is just you could sit back on a palm tree and cradle in your lap. So it'd probably be like a double cut Stratocaster style, something easy and light, and just I don't know.
Humbuckers? Are you a humbucker guy? You're primarily a humbucker guy, right?
Yeah. So something that is probably not exotic, more function over fashion for a deserted island type of thing.
Nobody's
Like
going to
desert
see you out there,
Yeah.
except for maybe your luxury item, depending on who or what that is.
And then
So
you want to
one
hear
amp.
something crazy?
You get to take an amp.
I'd bring a modeling amp so I could
Helix or
any one of those,
that
right?
new one. What's the new one you got back that takes the cartridges? I forget the name that the cartridges.
Oh, the Synergy.
Synergy, yeah.
No, I was thinking, probably more like a Helix or just anything that could go from that has everything built in, right?
Right.
Again, an easy guitar to play, an amp that has everything, because it doesn't matter, if it's the only one you have, it's not like it's going to be better than something else that you don't have.
Right, that's
So
right.
as long as it gets everything from death metal to country and everything in between, it's like, probably a modeling amp. So we got a cheap Stratocaster, a Lion 6
A Glary.
5.
You got a Glary?
Got a
A
Glary?
a Glary, a Glary, a Helix Stomp, a power cab. No, not a Glary.
And then what was it? So that's the guitar, that's the amp, and what else?
Pedal. So if you're taking a Helix though, so you could also take a pedal.
I would take the Line 6 pedal board.
There you go.
Okay.
That controls all the goodies.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you get one album to listen to. Obviously, you have a way to play it. So what is your music that you can never get tired of?
That's tough. That's tough.
What's your go-to?
It would have to be a best of the 80s hard rock with just like remember like those
mix
albums?
CDs you could get? Yeah. Greatest hits of 84.
I had a cassette called Metals of Master of Metal.
I remember those.
One of those type of things, where it has like different selection from different bands.
A mixtape. You just take
a mixtape. Absolutely.
Okay, we'll go with 80s metal mixtape. We'll go with that. All
Yeah,
right, so
good
you get one miscellaneous luxury item. We've have everything from recording studio to helicopter. So it's open to the gamut. So you could leave the island if you had a helicopter, right?
Is
or
it a companion? Can I bring a
Sure,
companion?
we've had wives, we've had girlfriends, we've had supermodels.
Yeah. I'd probably bring Pamela Anderson with me.
Pamela Anderson. Okay, good answer.
There you go. Good answer.
There you go. So I love it when it circles back around.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our Q&A session. We thank you, TK, for playing along.
Oh, my pleasure. That was fun.
We hope that everybody in the chat gets to know you as a person a little bit better, other than just a YouTube celebrity, because we're not, we look up to you. So the next part of our show is called Dr. Dave's Tips and Tricks. And then obviously DR and you guys have a little bit of a deal going on here. And so what we're going to talk about tonight is the Glary project. And that was the one thing that I was like, I think I'm missing something. Why am I missing something to share with everyone? That was because
Did you get it by any chance? Did you get it?
Monday. It's checked the UPS tracking, and it's going to be here on Monday.
Awesome.
So
go ahead, take it away, Dave.
TK was on what was it, Friday night?
Friday night. Yep.
Friday night on his live stream, unboxed the Glary that you see there on the screen, and of course we were kind of going back and forth in the chat, and he says, "Well, why don't I just send it to you? See what you can do with it." All right. So it's like challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
Actually, I tell you, it's a nice looking guitar.
It really doesn't. It's not going to look like that when you get it back.
It's not going to look like that when you get it back. Warning. Danger,
Warning.
Will Robinson.
Just a little warning. It's not going to look like that. Hopefully what I'm going to do I have some plans. Is there any that I need to ask you? Is there anything on that that's off limits?
No, dude, I just want you to have fun. I know, we're on the Patreon show, and so we've gotten to know each other quite a bit. And you tinker probably more than you tinker in a day more than I tinkered in my life when it comes to actually getting hands on. You've built guitars. So when we were talking through that, I just thought it'd be, if that was something you were interested in, it's a good platform to just have some fun with. So whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Now, TK, you paid like $70 for this guitar, right?
No, Larry actually sent that to me.
Oh, but that's what they go for, right? They're like
that one was $65, I think.
65. That's shipped.
Which is crazy. I mean, it cost me $25.
I didn't even cut the wood out for that.
Think about that. It cost me $25 to ship it, which means that's got to cost them. Let's say they have a corporate rate, at least $20. So
they got $45 in this guitar, and they had to pay somebody to build it, or at least run a machine.
I don't understand it. Like I said on my live show, I don't understand it.
How many million would they have to make?
And that's not like I said on my live show, it's not like a toy that, you have a machine, it goes in a mold. Like, people have to make a guitar.
Right. You have to. I mean, there's certain things that have to be done by hand.
Absolutely. I don't know. The only thing I could think of, and something else I covered on my live show, was I walked through who is the company.
I watched that. Yeah.
This is a company that clearly knows how to
make stuff.
I mean, from toys to cosmetics to luggage. Like, they are probably just very well versed in supply chain and having resources available to them to allow them to do that.
Right. Very inexpensive labor.
Yeah, inexpensive labor and just very efficient supply chain probably is, But right. I don't know. I don't know how anyone, can sell an entire guitar for $45 and make a profit.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It seems like they'd just be losing money just on the ingredients.
Just on the materials.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We talking like $5 each for $3 each for pickups, and $7 for a bridge, and 50 cents for an input. I mean, how did they even do the math and make that work? I don't know.
Well, there is a strategy some companies do, and I'm convinced Harley Benton did this. When Harley Benton first came out, they were dirt cheap. And then next thing you know, everybody's talking about Harley Benton, and now they're like $300, for certain models.
Take the loss. Take the loss at the beginning to get
the
your
loss
foot
is
in
your
the
advertising
door.
cost.
Right.
Exactly.
That could be a strategy, right? Put them for $65. Next thing you know, you have 100,000 guitarists that have these. Maybe they like them, and then they start inching the price up. That could be a strategy.
Could be.
All right. So in coming weeks, we will see updates along the way in the DR Guitars Tips and Tricks segment of the show as Dave kind of tricks out, pimps TK's ride, if you will.
Yeah,
right? I can tell you this much: it's going to be refretted.
Yeah, I just want you to have fun. That's the goal.
Oh, we'll have fun, but it will be refretted. I can tell you that. I have some plans for that neck.
All right. So we're going to move on to the next segment of the show, and this is something Dave's got to show us tonight. So we call this one "These Go to 11." Let me go back to our regular deal here, Dave.
You guys don't know what this is.
I'm going to give you the solo layout here so we can get the look, and I'm sure most people in the chat have seen the videos already, but
bet you don't know what this is.
I don't know if TK's seen this yet or not.
That looks really nice.
Yeah,
this is a Zematis A24 MF and BK. So this is they have two versions of this. There's one that's a natural back, and this one is the black. The BK is the black. So it is it's an aluminum face on screwed onto the guitar, and it's laser etched. I'll let you guys get a good close look there. So it's all laser etched.
What is the picture of?
It's just filigree.
It looks like flowers and
that's
leaves.
what I thought.
Yeah, it's just a filigree. Yeah, is really all it is. And of course, you've got the AC Zematis there
in the
very nice
for Anthony Zematis. who was the
David,
founder of the
I asked
company.
Dave about this earlier today. I was curious about how thick the top is on that. So it's more than a veneer. It's a real piece of aluminum there.
It's a significant chunk of aluminum. I mean, it's like what I tell you, it's like 3 millimeters thick.
Yeah, three and a half or something.
Over three,
you measured it out.
like 3¼ millimeters thick or so. So it's not a thin top.
And laser etched. Right?
Laser etched, yeah. So it's a mahogany body, mahogany neck, really nice, beautiful dark rosewood fretboard, and again and then of course the filigree goes onto the truss rod cover and onto the nice big Z diamond there on the headstock. Goto tuners, actual Goto branded tuners. There you can see my serial number.
This is a Japanese made
This is
guitar, correct?
this is made in Japan, yes. And as I've told and said, gone on record and said, the fretwork on this guitar is probably the best fretwork I have ever come across.
How's the binding on the neck? Is it well done?
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, there was nothing about this guitar that was not perfect out of the box. The only thing I've done to this is change the strings. Did not have to adjust a single. That didn't have to adjust the height. Didn't have to adjust the intonation. It came with 10s on it. I stuck my 9 to 46s on it like I do on. It's a 25-inch scale. It's not 25 so it's the same as a PRS scale. So that was the one thing that kind of threw me off a little bit, because I go between 24 and 3/4 and 25.5 a lot, but going to the 25-inch scale was a little bit. It was a little odd to begin with, but and you can see it's not a blade thin neck. It's not a big neck.
What would you compare it to in the guitars that you have, the rest of your collection? What does it feel like to you?
Closest to my SG probably, as far as carve and thickness.
Like a 60s neck without the slim taper.
Right. Yeah. I would call it a 60s profile. It's very comfortable, and I really like so. I don't know if you guys can see it, but right there, made in Japan.
Oh, cool. We can't see it, but we'll take your word for it. It's just too dark.
Yeah, you can see the lettering there. You can't make it out, but anyway. But yeah, the heel is the heel is really nice on it. It's about 8 pounds.
I like your strap too.
Oh, thanks. This is one of my favorite straps. This is an El Dorado strap. So if you're familiar,
looks like an old Earth 3 strap.
It looks like a what?
The Earth 3. Remember the snakeskin Earth 3 looking strap?
No, I don't. But it is actual real snakeskin.
Nice.
Oh, is it?
I like that.
It matches the guitar great.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite straps. I have 2 El Dorado straps. If you've never had the pleasure and joy of owning an El Dorado strap, you should buy one.
Where are they made?
They're made in the U.S.
What is that, a 3 or 4-inch?
This is a 2.5, I think.
Wow, it looks
2.5 or 3.
It looks thicker. It must be 3.
It may be a 3,
wide.
yeah. But I don't go much over 3. I don't like the super wide straps. Usually, in the 2.5 to 3, maybe 3-inch strap.
Now you got a pretty swinging deal on that. They have a sale going, right? And we're going to touch on some more of those here a little later.
Zematis is blowing these out. They are shipping from California, but they are made in Japan. But they're shipped to California and they're distributed. Those brand new are $1,900. They're like street price. They're on sale right now for $1,300 for $1,299.
That's a lot of money for a guitar strap, isn't it?
Yeah, that bad boy better be gold leaf.
Have I demonstrated that I'm listening carefully?
No,
Right now,
no,
you've got
no,
some
but-
plans. You've got some plans for that guitar, Dave. You're not going to keep it exactly stock. You want to let us in on that now, or you want to save
Oh
that
yeah,
for
sure,
later?
sure. I can let you in on that. Actually, one of the first things I noticed, the one thing I don't like about it are the pickups. It just to my ear, they don't sound that great. Somebody else might like them, but I wasn't a big fan. So first thing I did was called my buddy Glenn and at Guitar Bazaar and said, "Hey man, hook me up." So I have a set of nickel covered PNAFs waiting for me. I've just gotta get down and pick them up.
TK,
So-
are you familiar with the PNAF pickup?
No.
Guitar Bazaar, he's in the chat, Glenn.
Let me look it up. Is it guitar?
Guitar
Guitar
Oh,
Bazaar.
there it is.
Bazaar.
Okay, let me check it out. Hang on.
And he makes his own guitars. They're called QA.
Yep.
Oh,
has-
no, I am aware of this. Somebody brought this company to my attention. Oh,
I told
dude,
you.
hey, you told me. Jesus.
It was. I wonder who it could have been.
It was you. And we
Well,
were looking at.
And
Hang on.
he's in the chat. Glenn's been on our show. You might want to go back. So he's old buddies with like Neil Moser and all these guys. So
I was just talking to Neil Moser.
yeah. So yeah. Well, then Glenn and Neil are buddies. So yeah, you might want to check out some of his stuff.
Yeah,
There you go.
I definitely will. That's funny. I'm like, who told me about them? We were just talking about.
Glenn's not just friends with Neil Moser. He's friends with everybody that was on the LA Strip in 1982.
Nice,
And I am not making it up.
right?
So
They
yeah,
look
you
really
know,
nice. They look very, very nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm the proud owner of the Angel. So I have the very first Angel that Glenn ever made. My serial number is A001, 0001, something like that.
001. Oh, you got number one. You might
I
want to
have
hang on to
numero
that.
uno. Yeah, I have numero uno. So
Cool. All right,
Yeah.
gang. We got to keep the show moving
Yeah.
because
We'll
TK's
keep it
got
rolling.
prior engagement coming up later this evening. So we want to make sure get him out of here in time to go take care of what he has to do. So we're going to move on to the next segment of the show, and this one is known as the Red Hot. So Red Hot. So this is where we talk about all the cool guitars and stuff that we've seen on Reverb this particular week, and hopefully most of the ones that we were going to look at tonight haven't sold before we get to them. 'Cause at least one of them already did today.
yeah.
Oh, that looks nice.
All right.
So this first one, go ahead, Dave.
Oh, we have the Gus G, the Jackson Signature Gus G Star. It's a J32S, satin white, and currently is on sale 15% off for a $450 with 110 shipped. He is taking an offer. It is in Malaysia, but so we've got the Z body shape, which is Gus G is known for, solid body.
Getting some
poplar.
feedback, but I don't know where it's coming from, guys, just to let you know.
Okay. Yeah, I heard it a little bit too. May have been me. I hope it wasn't.
By the way, that's the only photograph. Otherwise, I'd show you more.
Right. So anyway, it's a satin finish on the neck. Truss rod is standard. It's a 25.5-inch scale. It's rosewood fretboard. It's compound radius.
Got the
Yeah.
shark inlays working.
Yeah.
Got the
So yeah.
eye out headstock.
Yep. Nice and pointy.
He's taking an offer. 110 shipping's a little on the harsh
Well,
side.
it is coming from
Oh,
Malaysia.
he's in Malaysia.
Yeah.
He's in Malaysia.
Can I ask you guys your opinion on something?
Sure.
Sure.
Did you ever buy a guitar, like in this particular example, would you have any reservation buying that guitar from Malaysia?
I haven't bought anything from overseas yet. I was thinking about buying a guitar that was in Japan recently, but I bailed because I was afraid of what it was going to cost to get it.
I know Austin has bought Trogley has bought quite a few guitars from overseas, and The way I kind of perceive it is, as long as you keep everything above board through like Reverb or eBay, whichever channel you
You get the buyer
use,
protection, right?
you have buyer's protection.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little bit more comforting, I guess, with lack of better terms.
I've seen quite a number of guitars that were available in Japan. But the shipping, it's always like at minimum $150.
Right.
You know?
Well, and now with the sites relaxing the Rosewood ban on shipping built guitars with Rosewood.
Yeah, they're not.
It's a little bit easier. Yeah, it's a little bit easier now. A little bit less trouble.
Then I always get concerned with counterfeits. You brought up Trogley's. I love his channel.
Yeah, I do
and,
too.
Some of the stuff that he's pointed out, like he even thought it was authentic until he looked at it.
Until he got it in his hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's I don't know. It's just one of those. If I'm not 100% certain,
I was looking at a Japanese only PRS SE with a Floyd. That was from the PRS experience from a year or two ago that they had in Japan, right? But I was like, and then I was like, how much am I going to get charged extra to get it through customs at the end of the chain? Because you don't know that going in, right?
You know what I always wanted to try from Japan is an Edwards.
Oh, really?
Edwards
guitars.
You can't buy them here. It's part of the ESP company, but Edwards is only available. Well, I don't know if it's only available in Japan, but it's not available in the U.S.
Right.
And they make some really good looking. I've never played in Edwards. I'd like to someday, but you could only get them from Japan.
Isn't that
I can tell you.
Isn't that what Augiefish did a video on, that purple one that he has? I think Augiefish has an Edwards that he was seeking that was a James Hetfield copy of a purple.
It could be because Edwards will copy all the the ESP models.
Right.
They even do like for instance, and I'm not saying any of this is fact. This is my understanding. Like ESP has the Eclipse, and they use the flag instead of the block inlay.
Right.
They can't do the block inlay here. Again, that's my understanding.
Oh,
but Edwards has the block inlay. Edwards has the 2 and 2 like the Les Paul layout, but they can't do that here. So you have 3. So if you want an ESP that looks just like a Les Paul, it's an Edwards.
I'm almost positive Augiefish has an Edwards that he had sought for years that he wanted, and it's purple, and it was based on a James Hetfield ESP, I believe. It's a single cut, and he finally got one, and he said the same thing. It's spectacular. So I'm sure you know who Augiefish is.
Yes.
Maybe not everybody in the chat does. So if you're interested, I'm almost positive it's an Edwards. Does it have 3 slashes on the headstock? Is that the Edwards emblem?
I think the Edwards is like a script all in lowercase.
Okay. With I don't know. I'm almost positive. We'll have to go look. We'll have to go look later. We'll have to go look.
I've seen, for instance, they have the Yngwie Malmsteen Edwards. Mm-hmm. Scalloped fret. I mean, it looks
right, just like it, right?
Like
and
700,
high quality.
Yeah, made in Japan. I think I think all Edwards is made in Japan. So yeah, in theory, I've never played one, but you're getting a really good instrument for not a lot of coin. That's a bucket list guitar. I'd like to get an Edwards someday.
There you go.
We're gonna show the. So we've already shown Zematis tonight.
Yep.
These are the less expensive Zematis guitars.
Ooh.
So these are made in Korea. These are the Korean made Zematis. This is the Z series. Again, everything on the Zematis website is on blowout. These are clocking in at just under $500.
Isn't that amazing? Look at the first picture and look at the second picture.
That's some good photography, man.
That is popping off the page. This one is like, it's okay.
Right,
Right.
I want the first one. How do you, how do you guarantee when you open the box?
If I could buy that one.
That one.
Right. I want that one. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so these are Palfero fretboards, 25-inch scale, just like the Japanese made, 1/11/16 nut width, set neck, mahogany body, mahogany neck, veneers on those. And Brian, if you have some of the other ones to ready to,
we'll
pop
look
up
at the we'll look at some. So they've got. So in the $4.99, you can get white, black, maple, blue.
They look really nice.
Right. And then you get up here if you want a painted. Well, after the gold top, $5.99. So here's the Tone King. Here's the Tone King Challenger version right here.
Oh,
black. Well, no, actually, it's the next one. It's
this
the one with
this
the
is the Brian. This is the red and white one. Is the Brian Challenger model. That's my RT Classic paint job right there.
See, you know what you just said is like the stuff I would tell my wife. It's like, honey, look at the new guitar.
I need this because it matches my car.
Right.
It's the car. Yeah, well, my Challenger was this Toad King, the white with the red.
Nice.
Yeah. I just sold it. I'm still sad. Okay, we won't talk about that.
What year was it?
All right, now they have. It was a 2012 RT Classic.
Wow, very nice.
All right.
So yeah, they have all these different $4.99 and $5.99, and then you get the fancy wood,
the zebra, the koa, and the
700 bones,
the white flame maple.
Yeah. So not too bad, pretty cool on closeout. Good deal. So that's that, and then we're going back to reverb for this next one.
Yep. So this is a.
Yeah, this is going to be the Epi.
Yep.
This is kind of cool.
Epi. It is a limited edition 1958 Carina Explorer.
That looks nice.
It is nice. Yeah. Look at that bad boy.
So yeah, it is an Epiphone, but it's pretty much your. It's your
2 pictures. Sorry.
Chinese Gibson.
So what is your criteria for picking guitars to talk on this segment?
So
right now it's kind of a set price range, but it didn't start out that way. Go ahead, Dave. Explain how we're doing it.
So what we do, what I try to do is I try to go through 0 to like $5.99, and I pick a few guitars. And generally my criteria is they have to be on sale, and kind of I don't want to keep showing the same guitars every week or talking about the same ones every week. So I try to mix it up. I try to find some things that maybe we haven't done, or something unique, or
we call these the red hots. So therefore it's supposedly a decent deal,
right.
But not always.
Not always, as you will see. But yeah, I mean,
as you will see.
So I mean, this one was different. It's the Carina version of the Explorer, kind of a thing. It is on sale, 15% off, $542.30 with $100 shipping.
And this one is in Malaysia also. That's why you're getting stuck with the $100.
Right. So, but he is still taking an offer.
Right.
So, yeah, it's got the Alnico Classic, humbuckers, whatever that means for Epiphone. I've never been a huge fan of their pickups, but that's neither here nor there.
All righty. Moving on. This next one's right up. This one's up TK's alley, I think.
So this is from the 1980s. This is a BC Rich ST3 in silver crackle.
He's like, oh man, that hurt my eyes.
Yeah.
So this one's in our second category. So this one will be from our 600 to 1299 category. So, but this one was kind of cool. I love the old crackle finishes. And we haven't shown one of these guys yet.
You ever see how that's done?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I haven't.
Kiesel Guitars just released a video showing how that it's all in the paint. It's like dry it really fast type of thing with a heat gun.
Mhm.
Oh,
Fascinating.
is that how
Yeah.
they do it? I got
I
you.
never saw it before until recently.
And then the
Yeah.
way they clear over the top then after it
Yeah.
crackles.
Mhm. But it's two different types of paint. So one of them causes a reaction once you hit it with a heat gun, and then it makes that crackle, and then they shoot it with
Man,
clear. Yeah.
This thing's really clean for 1980s.
Yeah, it's pretty clean. At
There's
930, 130 shipped. He's not taking an offer, but it is made in the U.S.
Man, you're hitting all the overseas guitars this week. This one's in Greece.
Yeah, this one's in Greece. So
I got to be honest
condition.
with you, just being well versed on the BC Rich stuff.
mhm.
That should be a $650, $700 guitar. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that and plus when you figure in you're paying $130 shipping, that's
Right,
you're
right.
over. Yeah, so
Now, if
that's
that-
the one where you message the guy and say like, dude, I'll give you like $700.
Shit.
Now, if that was
Yeah.
like for instance, that guitar, if it was in there, Arrest Me Red, I'd pay more for that.
Okay.
I like the guy's YouTube store though. It's called Crackle 80s. We're gonna have to
Nice.
keep an eye on that guy because maybe
Yeah,
that's
we
all he sells. I don't know. That's crazy.
I love crackle finishes, but that's just
Crackle.
me.
I think that's probably a
80s.
$700 guitar.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. When I'm in the mood, or when I'm in the market, I'm gonna be hitting you up about any BC Riches that I buy. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Be happy
So-
to help.
The word Hondo came up earlier in the show.
Indeed, it did.
Wow, look at that.
And our next
Look at
one
that.
is a Honda H1
Careful, you
1980s.
put your eye out with that thing.
You will put your eye. Talk about your pointy.
There was an Ibanez guitar, and maybe someone in the chat knows the answer to this. There was an Ibanez guitar that had the same like body style. I think it was like two letters, 500 or 750. Any Ibanez, vintage Ibanez?
If Lawrence is still here, he might be able to lend us a hand on that. He's a bit of an Ibanez aficionado.
First off, I'm just gonna say that's freaking cool.
That is very cool.
That is cool.
It's
It's
missing
different.
the knob. It don't even need the knob.
No, you don't need the knob.
Knobs are overrated. It's not even tore up. How is
No,
that
there
even
it is.
possible?
The guitar pick got it. The XV500. Can you Google that? Let's see how close they look.
Look at this joint length.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's what she
yeah.
said. Look at this joint length.
Yeah, the guitar
Holy-
pick got it. It's the XV500. Compare both if you could. I was
XV500.
Oh, yeah.
very
It's a
close
little
to
bit. So it's a little different. It is a little bit different. Yeah, it's more. So this Hondo is more angular. It's more like just straight angles.
Yeah.
Where the Ibanez
Wow.
has more
It's still
curves.
got the plastic on the back.
Yeah. So the Ibanez has more curves on the straight.
right.
Hey,
right, right.
I'll see your full. I'll see your 4 bolts.
And I'll raise you
Raise
too.
you too.
But
Wow.
so that's the
I'm
Honda.
just shocked that nothing's
That's
busted
crazy.
off. That's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it? Nothing's broke
Yeah.
off.
Nothing's broke off. No, it's in really good condition.
So this guy's wanting 700 all in, push all the chips in, and he's in Chandler, Arizona.
Yeah,
And he's
he's
taking an offer.
he's pretty local.
That's different.
Yeah.
What's it say? Does it say what the wood of the fretboard is?
No,
Is
it doesn't
Ferro?
say.
It's awful light, but it's cool.
Yep.
All right. Wow, that's different. We haven't seen one of those on the show before.
Nope. Hints. And it's 20% off. So
Not bad.
You know,
All right,
here's a quick little trivia. Did you guys know that Hondo, the company that owned Hondo, did the first import Charvel guitars?
oh, really?
I think it was called IMC, International Music Corporation.
Right. That
Right,
sounds
see it.
right.
and they built the import series, Charvel Model 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was the company is Hondo. And those guitars are phenomenal.
Yeah, they are.
I own a 1A.
I'm actually on the hunt for a Model 6.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I have a 1A, a 1C, a 5, and a 6. And I'll tell you.
I had a Model 2, 1988 Model 2, right? With the single pickup and the knob, just one knob, one pickup.
Basically, it was the same company as Honda.
JT6 bridge.
Yeah, and those were neck through mahogany bodies, and I mean they were good guitars.
Yep.
All right, let's see which one we got next here.
Sorry, I keep sidetracking you guys.
Oh no,
you're fine.
No, that's fine. We got time. So this is a little bit different.
This is definitely different. This is a 1999 Guild Bluesbird.
We've notched it up in price range all of a sudden. If you didn't notice.
Yes. Now we're in the 13 or 1200 up to 2400 price range here.
Yeah, this one's $2,000.
So this is made in the USA. This was made 1998, 1999. This thing just
that's a piece of wood, though, isn't it?
Gorgeous top on this thing. Just absolutely stunning maple top on that. Looks like a single piece back, a single piece mahogany back.
Guild has kind of a cool headstock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fender owns Guild now, right?
Yes, I believe that is correct.
And they're still making stuff, right?
Some stuff, yeah. Nothing like they used to.
They make that funky shaped. I don't even know what it's called. They make those weird shaped guitars.
I think they may still be making some of the like custom shop stuff, Guild, and they're making. I think they're still making some acoustics.
Is it just the picture, or is that nut look really skinny?
I think it's just a picture. It looks like normal sized nut to me, but.
Can you go back one?
Yep.
Yeah, it's normal size. It's just the angle on the picture.
That one or the next one?
No, yeah.
It's just the angle. It's just the angle that they took the picture from.
It does look oddly high, though, doesn't it?
It does look. It does look a little bit high, but if you look at where the strings are sitting on the first fret,
that looks correct.
It's correct. Yeah, it's just a weird. It's almost an optical. I think it's almost an optical illusion.
This might just be the way the foot. So this guy's got.
Looks like you want to make like a Jello in that first fret there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
So this guy's marked her down 10%, but only until 2 a.m.
on the
12th. Tonight.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
About 4 hours from now. Well, I don't know what time
I guess it depends on where they're talking. Yeah.
He's in Washington State, so I guess that's a little bit
later. So
it'll
be probably midnight.
About 5 a.m. Right, but he's at 21.49 all in. Make an offer. So there you go. If you're in the market for a Guild guitar, that's one.
Cool guitar though. Different, right?
I've tried those Electromatics, the 500, 600 imported ones. They're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For the price range, right?
Yeah.
What I like about them is it's not a Me Too guitar. They have like a different bridge. It's like the knobs are all different. It's just, it's like your Zamanthus. It's different.
Right.
And speaking of which, he's clairvoyant.
You are. Look at that.
Oh, there you go.
This is the A24MF Dragonheart.
Look at the dragons. This is Game of Thrones, baby.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Isn't that nice?
So this one is the natural. So yeah, you've seen mine with the black, and then here's the natural back. Same pickups. It's just a different design on the aluminum faceplate. Other than that, it's exact same model as mine.
Is that a one-piece back or just really well matched?
It's two-piece back. I can see the seam. The seam's over on the left-hand side.
Gotcha.
It's right down the middle of the cutaway. I believe.
Right there.
Hold
See
on.
my mouth? Can you see my
Yeah. I believe that's your seam. If there's a seam, that's your seam.
Is this is rosewood? You said
Yes.
earlier, right?
Rosewood, yes, absolutely.
What artist has used Zematis?
Well, let's see.
Did you get this case, Dave?
Yeah. The case. That's the same case.
Sorry,
Yours
I
is
didn't mean
one
to
piece.
interrupt. Go ahead.
Glenn says his is a one piece back or one piece body, so that's cool. Chris Robinson from the Black Crows.
Right.
Ron Wood. Yeah, Ron Wood. Keith Richards has a couple. Yep.
Nice.
So it was 2,100 and now it's 1,575.
Right.
Free shipping, and he's in Cali.
Yep.
So he knocked
25%
almost
off.
600. Yeah, he knocked almost $600 off.
And that's about the same price as the.
It's 5.25.
It's the same. It's basically the same price as the Dragon Hearts are on the site if they still have the Dragon Hearts. But there you go.
Well, boy's proud of it. He said it doesn't get any better than this unless you go to the custom shop.
No, I can vouch for that. Except for the pickup.
8 pounds too.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Moving on. We got a few more tonight.
Yeah, a couple more, yeah.
Couple more.
And I can also speak for this next one.
Oh, do you got one of these?
Oh, I want one of those.
It's right there, Brian.
Oh yeah.
I saw one at Summer NAMM in Silver Sparkle, and True Shack is in the chat. He was there with me. I was trying real hard to come home with a guitar, but they're like, nah, it's sold. And then I got we can make you one, yeah, which usually comes with a pretty big price tag.
This one, the price is pretty good on.
That looks great.
$13.55 is a smoking deal.
That guitar played phenomenal. It was phenomenal playing.
Yes.
It plays like an electric guitar.
It does.
Now these F holes, if you would call them that, they're not really holes, are they?
Yeah.
Are they?
It's a full hollow. It's a full hollow.
But it almost looks like they're filled in, like they're just recessed.
Mine's just hang on a second.
See what I'm saying? It almost looks like they're not a hole. It almost just looks like
they have different mic placements.
So that is the S model. Mine is the S1. So the difference is the S1 is a slightly larger body than the S. So the S is a little bit smaller than this. But
wow, look at that case.
Yeah, that's exactly the. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Dave, can you comment, like, isn't there, like, certain placement of microphones throughout the soundboard in there?
So there's a body sensor.
Yeah.
So you have a five-way selector up here. This is not a lipstick. This is actually a humbucker.
Interesting.
There is a humbucker buried up here under the neck, and then you also have a body sensor for a pickup. So you technically have three pickups. There you don't have an under saddle. It's an actual body sensor. Oh, it's not in tune. It's out of really bad attitude. But yeah. This one is mine. When I bought this, I bought this from a mom and pop in Oregon. I paid a little bit less than what this guy's asking, and that's been 3 years ago.
Yours has a really pretty flame top, though.
Yeah, it's got the really nice flame top.
So they're really F holes. They just it must be painted inside the body black, so they just don't look. They look like
it's not painted. It's not painted. Let me see if I can get the light to show in there.
Yeah, yours looks a lot more like
that finish is popping.
Yeah, it is
really beautiful.
Where is I have a flashlight here somewhere. I don't know what I did.
Wow, look at the inside of this case. Oh, it has a battery.
What's with the back plate on that?
So that's where all your electronics are. It's underneath here.
Gotcha.
So like your pickup and whatnot to access all that stuff is through here.
Look how
And
the
you-
back of the
Yeah, it has-
guitar is really yeah, it's like cut. It's like it's a arch top back.
No, it's
Does that
not.
make sense? It's an arch.
That's the case.
Oh, it's the K. Okay.
Yes. See,
It's just a
this
reflection.
is exactly what it looks like.
I got you.
Does it gent?
Does it, gent?
Actually, yes, it does. If you wanted to.
So this guy's asking, what's this guy
Pretty sure.
asking here? Pull it up again. So this guy's asking $13.55, 75, 50 shipping, and he's in Vero Beach, Florida.
That is
And
that is a good price.
And he's also taking an offer.
Yeah.
And his sale is good until the day after Christmas. So
Yeah.
he's Ray's Music Exchange. I thought that was in Chicago.
It is
The one they're not making anymore. They had like 2 models. Oh, the one you have. Got
yeah,
it.
the S1. Yeah, they're still making the T5C, which is the custom, and I think the only difference between this and the custom, it was some inlays on the fretboard or something. It wasn't much of a difference. Then this is the S1, which it has that the one has that nice pretty flame maple top on it. The S, which what you see there is just the plain top, and then you go into the Z models. The T5Z, which are the smaller bodies. They're a good bit smaller than this one. So
We got 2 more to show, brother.
yep. Let's do it.
This next one is this one's tempting me right here. This is a swinging deal, in my opinion.
So we've got an RO from 2013. It's $3,500, 150 shipping. We
It's not
all
just
know
an
what
RO, it's an RO historic VOS.
Yeah, it's a VOS. So this is the real deal. The aged nitro, the true historic thing. It's yeah. We all know what those are about.
I want that so bad.
And that's a
Yeah, so these are $6,500 brand new, by the way.
Yeah.
They're not exactly giving them away. It's got a little
No.
scratch.
a little scratch, but
What is the O in RO?
1960.
Oh,
The
got
R
it.
is the O is 60. The R is reissue.
Right. So R2 would be a 1952. R3 is a 1953. R4 54. You kind of get
what's
the
the most
R9
desired?
is 59.
What's the most desired R?
15
R9.
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 59. Yeah.
R9s and ROs really.
Yeah. So
ROs
your
are pretty
RO's got your 60s thinner neck. The R9's got the 59 bigger, chunkier. That's the main. That's the main. So this guy's 3,500 bones. And
Yeah.
where's he at? Cincinnati. I could drive down there.
Drive over there.
I could be there in I could be there in an hour and 20 minutes.
Check it out for us, Brian. Let us know.
He's killing me. I wonder if I could take my Cali and my Standard down there and make a trade.
And so this next one, I chose it
This
just
one-
for you, TK.
Yeah, this is the Tone King Red Hot for tonight.
This is TK's Red Hot. You ready?
TK's
all-
Red Hot.
It's a 1933.
Yep.
4950. Yeah, we all know what that's about too.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
So I sent my Ibanez to Philip McKnight, who's going to do sharpen my X on
He's
that.
sharpen it for you.
hmm Yep.
You got a 73 Ibanez.
Yeah. What is it? The 3250, I think it is.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to spend $3,000-$4,000.
Didn't want to
Gotcha.
spend money on it. Yeah,
I think I got the Ibanez for like 500, maybe something like
right.
that.
Right.
That's
This one's-
wonderful though.
It's
great.
been around the block, but that's what makes it cool, right?
Yeah, it's got that mojo. It's got the check-in on it. And of course, that's also made in Kalamazoo because Nashville wasn't even thought of at that point in time.
It's even got the original case, which is fairly freaking cool.
I'll tell you what, if I ever put down money like that on a 73, I'd be calling Trogley and just making sure.
Yeah, I would have Trogley buy it for me and make sure it was the real deal first, I think.
Go back to where it showed the picture of the pot. I'm going to teach you guys something real quick.
Yep.
DR's guitars, Dr. Dave lesson coming up. Hang on, I got to find it.
Right there, next one. That one right there.
73.
So you see the 137, that's the manufacturer. The 73 is the year. 03 is the week. So that's third week of 1973. So that's an early January 21st, basically.
Now that's when the pot was made. That doesn't mean that's
pot was made.
But sometimes that's about as close as you could get.
Exactly.
Right.
So you can say 73.
This guy's $5,000 all in.
CTS is 137. That's correct, Glenn. Thank you.
And he's in Maryland. He's not too far from. He's
in
from the Tone King.
Yep.
Garrett Park Guitars.
Yep.
So there you go. There's your birth year Les Paul there, King.
Yeah. Beautiful.
He's like, not for that kind of money.
A lot of bones, though, man. It's a lot of bones.
That's a lot of cash.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of cash. All right, that's the last one of the Red Hots for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed looking at some cool guitars.
Nice.
We're gonna get it down to the last segment. We got to get this thing over with in 39 minutes, so TK can go take care of his business. So we're gonna move on. So we're moving on to the circuit breakers portion of the show, and we always started off with all in the name of rock history.
Yeah.
And
where is it? There it is. All right, I'm ready.
I'm not quite. I got to get us to the. I got to get myself to the original photograph here.
Okay.
Which is right there. So
Let
just
me know.
give me just a moment, and then you should be seeing it now.
All right. December 8th, 1963, Frank Sinatra Jr. is kidnapped in Lake Tahoe, Nevada. Freed 3 days later after his famous father pays a $240,000 ransom. The three men responsible are eventually caught and incarcerated.
$240K. That was some cash.
Yeah.
So the story, they actually put it in a briefcase, and they had 2 school buses, and they had to drop these. It was a weird freaking scenario on how they dropped the money off and all kinds of weird stuff. I was reading about it. It's pretty interesting. All right, next one.
All right. 1980. On December 8th, John Lennon, at 40 years old, is shot and killed outside his apartment in New York City.
I remember that.
Rather sad day. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
All right.
Also, and 4 years later, on December 8th, Nicholas Razzle Dingley of Hanoi Rocks dies in a drunk driving accident in Redondo Beach, California. The 24-year-old drummer is the passenger in a car driven by Motley Crue's inebriated frontman, Vince Neil.
Yeah, that's too bad.
By the way, I was talking to someone wondering how he got off so easy. And you know what the answer was?
He paid a lot.
Go on tour, and somebody paid a lot of money.
He had to go to work.
Yeah.
He had to go to work.
Yep.
He did 16 days in jail, I think. 16 days in jail of the 21 that he got. It was pretty ridiculous.
Tragic.
And another tragic event in 2004 on December 8th, Dimebag Darrell is shot dead on stage while performing with his band Damage Plan.
That's
What
like
year was that
25
again?
miles.
Huh?
What year did that happen?
2004.
2004.
15 years ago. It's like 25 miles from where I'm sitting.
What was the reason the gunman said?
The guy was mad because
They broke up, right?
Pantera was his favorite band, and he was mad because they broke up. He was crazy. And he killed also a waitress, and there was a fan that jumped on the stage and tried to lay on top of Dimebag to cover him, and the dude shot him to death too. Luckily, there was and also the security manager for Damage Plan was also jumped in front of him, and he killed him. But there was a police officer there that the man grabbed a person, another audience member, and was holding them at gunpoint, and the police officer shot him anyway and took him out.
You know what's sad about this? These are musicians. This is the arts.
That was insane.
This
obviously
isn't political.
No.
It's
He was mad because Pantera broke up. He told he said he had left messages behind it said, "You ruined my life."
Crowbar.
Pantera broke up.
Crazy.
Crowbar. All right.
All right, moving on. That was sad. That was horrible.
1947, on December 8th, Greg Allman of the Allman Brothers Band was born in Nashville, Tennessee.
That was a good day. That was better.
Even better, 1957, Def Leppard guitarist Phil Collen is born in Hackney, London, England. He
Phil
joined
had
the
some
band.
hair. That's back when he was rocking the hair.
He joined the band in 1982 as a replacement for Pete Willis.
I don't remember the Pete Willis era for some reason.
Yeah, that's okay. Most of us don't. And also in 1962, Marty Friedman, lead guitarist for Megadeth, was born in Washington, D.C. He picked up a guitar at the age of 14 after seeing who? Kiss and
Kiss. You know what I don't like about Marty Friedman? If you search Reverb for Friedman, you get a bunch of Marty Friedman guitars in front of the Friedman guitars that you want to look at.
All right, December 9th, back in 1965. This is a little throwback for the holidays. A Charlie Brown Christmas makes its debut, airing on CBS in place of the Munsters. The famous score, which now has become synonymous with the Peanuts, was written by the jazz musician Vince Guaraldi. I hope I said that right, and performed by his trio.
Isn't that amazing, the staying power of that? They play that every year.
Every year.
The
poor little Christmas tree. They picked the little sad one.
Yeah. And then in 1974, George Harrison released the first album on his new record label, Dark Horse, the item entitled Dark Horse.
That's a wild album cover, isn't it? I like George. He was my favorite Beatle, though.
Yeah, for sure. In 1991, on December 9th, a long legal battle over Bob Marley's estate ends when the nearly $12 million estate is awarded to his widow, Rita, and her children. In honor of the verdict, Ziggy names his daughter, who was born on that day, Justice Marley.
She named the daughter Justice after they got all the money.
And in 2003, you'll see where this is going. 2003, on December 9th, Ozzy Osbourne crashes his quad, breaking several bones, including his collarbone, fracturing vertebrae.
He's still messed up from that.
But not life-threatening. And
that's actually Ozzy laying on the ground there on that top part of that photograph. There was video. Somebody was shooting video when he fell off and broke his neck, right?
Wow.
And December 10th, 1953.
There she is.
The first
Marilyn.
issue of Playboy magazine is published. Marilyn Monroe is on the cover. Over the next 2 decades, Playboy shows up in several hit songs. Playboy by the Marvelettes. He's Just a Playboy by the Drifters in 1964. Playboy by Gene and Debbie. And International Playboy by Wilson Pickett.
Hugh was onto something.
Onto something, man.
Yeah.
That's for sure. 1967. Previously unknown San Francisco group, the Steve Miller Blues Band, signs to Capitol Records for an unprecedented $750,000, dropping blues from their name in the process.
Wow, that was a pretty good contract for them.
For 67, almost $750 million.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix is making $1 a week.
Right. And these guys signed for $750,000. Yeah.
Wow. They had a better agent.
Yeah. 1971, during a concert in London, Frank Zappa is thrown into the orchestra pit by a fan's jealous boyfriend, breaking his leg and ankle and fracturing his skull. Zappa takes months to recover.
That brings a whole new meaning to stage diving.
No kidding.
Didn't mean to.
And in 1973, on December 10th, the CBGB Club opened in the Lower East Side of New York City.
CBG. You ever been there, TK?
No. But
No?
what's interesting is in Newark Airport in Terminal C, they have a CBGB, like a little place you could go eat.
Like
And
a replica?
A replica. And on the left side, they have all music stuff, T-shirts,
cool.
albums.
Oh,
Newark
cool.
Airport. So if you get flying to Newark Airport, go to Terminal C. You could go to the replica CBGBs.
So if you don't know what CBGB's is, it was the club that would go on to host Blondie, the Talking Heads, Joan Jett and the Blackheart, the B-52s, Television, Patti Smith, the Ramones, and a whole host of other people.
It was kind of a punk scene, right?
It was so CBGB. If you think CBGB is kind of like, what's the big club on the strip, on the Hollywood, on the Sunset Strip?
Whiskey?
The whiskey or the rainbow, or yeah.
You can kind of almost equate CBGB to like the whiskey or the rainbow or whatever. But CBGB was in New York.
Gotcha.
So, it's kind of that same thing. So then in 2015, on December 10th, Janis Joplin's psychedelic painted Porsche sells for a whopping $1.76 million at auction.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
I thought the Kurt Cobain sweater was insane. How much money?
1.76, almost $1.75 million, we'll just call it.
Crazy.
That's a lot of guitars.
Yeah. Now we're on to December 11th, which is today. 1968, the Rolling Stones record their Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus TV special, then bury it for nearly 30 years.
That is one of those programs that should have never been made. Look, Yoko's dressed up as a witch, and I have no idea what John Lennon is supposed to be.
It don't matter. Yoko's definitely dressed the part.
And look, the little picture down at the bottom is Mick with a real tiger.
All right. 1990, the Recording Industry of America, the RIAA, certified 8 Led Zeppelin albums: Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, 4, Presence, Houses of the Holy, In Through the Outdoor, and Physical Graffiti. Had certified them, were all platinum, with Led Zeppelin 3 and Presence certified double platinum. Physical Graffiti had sold 4 million copies. Led Zeppelin 2, Houses of the Holy, and In Through the Outdoor, 5 million copies. And Led Zeppelin 4, 10 million units sold. And this was in 1990.
Good God, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of records.
They got paid. Wow.
That's a lot of records.
And all that happened on the same day.
Same day, yeah. 1990 on December 11th. And without this guy, we wouldn't have all the homage that we pay on this show. Happy birthday, Nikki Sixx. He was born in 1958 in San Jose, California.
There you go. The Crewster. Rock on, Nikki.
Rock on, brother. December 12th, 1970, the Doors played what would be their last concert with singer Jim Morrison at the Warehouse in New Orleans, Louisiana.
So this was post-Miami when he supposedly whipped it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was their last.
But shortly thereafter, right?
All right. 1974, guitarist Mick Taylor quits the Rolling Stones.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That was a bad move.
You think?
Financially, anyway. That's like poor Pete Best.
Yeah. 1976, Ace Frehley, guitarist of Kiss, touched a short-circuited light bulb and was nearly electrocuted during a show at the Civic Center in Lakeland.
Yeah, so
Florida.
This is on the Destroyer tour where they had the big staircases, and he was coming down the staircases. He actually touched the handrail, and it fried him because it wasn't grounded right.
He was carried from the stage, but was able to return 10 minutes later and resume the show. Rock on, Ace.
The show must go on.
Indeed. 1981, at a Journey concert in San Francisco, lead singer Steve Perry brings up members of the 49ers football team who are in the audience and introduces them as the next Super Bowl champion. Well,
and then they go on to win.
The prediction came true because the 49ers beat the Bengals in Super Bowl 16.
Yeah, they had Joe Montana and Ronnie Law and everybody else. Right.
Yep. And a couple of birthdays. Fairly significant one. 1915. Frank Sinatra was born in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Frank Sinatra. I bet he wishes that picture wasn't on the internet while he's
blue eyes. Well,
yeah,
1943. Dickie Betts, guitarist with the Allman Brother Band, was born in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Now, what's the Dickie Betts Les Paul famous for? You can almost see it at his hands blocking it. It's got a reverse heart.
Right.
It's a sunburst with a reverse heart, with an upside down heart right underneath the pickups.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you can see the tip of the heart. There's a heart shape that's in the same cherry burst as the fade on the inside.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Dickie Betts. That guy could play a little bit.
1953, Bruce Kulick, guitarist who played for Michael Bolton, Grand Funk Railroad, Meatloaf, and Kiss, was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Now, I didn't know I was really enjoying Kiss.
Yeah. The funny thing is his older brother was almost the guitar player in Kiss before Ace Frehley.
Yep. And actually recorded on several albums of Kiss instead of Ace.
Just pointing out, this is a ESP Horizon, Dave. David and I are debating the merits of the Japanese-made ESP Horizon. He's not a big fan.
It's all good. All right. December 13th, 1966, Jimi Hendrix records Foxy Lady.
Foxy Lady. That might be my favorite Jimmy song.
Yeah, that's a good one. Also, on the same day in 1966, Jimi Hendrix made his television debut on Ready, Steady, Go on ITV in the UK.
So he recorded Foxy Lady, and then he made his first television debut on the same friggin' day.
Yep.
Look at all those.
Not a bad.
Holy cow.
That's a good day at the office, wasn't it?
Yeah. And in 1948, Jeff Skunk Baxter of Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers was born in Washington, D.C.
I wonder how he got the nickname Skunk.
No idea. And we have also in 1948, on December 13th, Uncle Ted.
That's not his baby picture, by the way.
Was born Theodore Anthony Nugent in Detroit, Michigan.
I love the paneling.
Yeah. That like screams 1960.
That's clearly in the basement because you can see the fuse box back there, right? Right.
My aunt used to have paneling in her house when I was like a tot. I remember all the paneling.
TK, you ever have a Gibson Birdland? Have you ever owned a Birdland?
No.
Not your
scale.
Nope. Just
short scale Gibson.
Just regular couple of Les Pauls, SG, Firebird, RD.
No semi-hollows, no 339s or anything like that?
No. I have an Epiphone Wildcat, which is like a semi. But an actual Gibson, just all solid bodies.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Actually, I'd like to take out the Firebird someday. I don't think I would put that on video.
I'd like
to remember.
I don't think Uncle Ted was Uncle Ted in this. He was Nephew Ted in this photograph.
He was Baby Ted.
Yeah.
And December 14th, 1980, at Yoko Ono's request, a 10-minute worldwide silent vigil takes place at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for John Lennon, who was shot and killed 6 days earlier. Lennon was cremated without a funeral, so the vigil is the public's outpouring of support and mourning. A large crowd gathers in Central Park near where Lennon lived with Yoko to take part in this, and it became a tradition each year on the anniversary of John's death.
What a shame.
Yeah. What a shame.
Right.
Not gonna make my. I was gonna say something. I'm not gonna. 1997. Kurt Winter, guitarist and songwriter of the Guess Who, died of kidney failure at the age of 51.
Kid at 51. Wow, that's too young.
In
There's not a lot of pictures of the man. That's the best one I could find.
He looks like another guitarist.
He does. I
Robin
thought the same thing.
What'd you say?
Crosby.
No.
What's the guy that was in Skinner from California?
King.
Ed King.
Yeah, maybe.
Look like Ed King.
Crowbar said Leslie West, maybe. A couple of people are saying.
But there was
Leslie West was in Mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right.
Moving right along. 1999, in a much publicized show, Paul McCartney returns to play the Cavern Club in Liverpool for the first time since 1963. Joining him on stage are Pink Floyd's David Gilmour and Deep Purple's Ian Pace.
Wow. How did you get a ticket to get into that?
Yeah, that was standing room only.
You know that. Yeah. You're probably gonna get 300 people in there anyway.
Right. Wow. And in 2004, we're circling back around to Dime. Thousands of mourners attended the memorial for the late Pantera guitarist Dimebag Darrell in Arlington, Texas. Among those attended were Eddie Van Halen and Zakk Wylde.
Where those flowers are laying is where his brother is now buried next to him.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. And and there's also a plaque that is like Dime's. What a lot of people may not know is Eddie Van Halen's Bumblebee black and yellow guitar is in the grave with Dime because before he was murdered, he asked Eddie to build him one. He wanted one, just like it. Eddie was going to make him one like the one he had, and then he got killed before Eddie got around to it. So when he came to the funeral, he brought the original one, and he told his wife, Dime deserves to have the real one. So the real one's in the ground there with Dime, which is pretty freaking cool.
Is it true? I heard he was buried in the Kiss coffin that Kiss was selling.
Yes, he's in a Kiss coffin. Ace Frehley was at the funeral. A bunch of other celebrities. You might have the list.
No, I didn't have the full list.
It was a lot of rock royalty were there. Yeah.
Right. So. And our last item on All in the Name of Rock for this week, 2005. Jimmy Page, guitar legend from Led Zeppelin, I think we all know that, was made an officer of the Order of the British Empire by Queen Elizabeth for his work with street children from Brazil.
Wow.
That was cool. That's cool. That was a cool thing for him to do.
Yeah.
Man, just take Bonham's Boy out and let's do this thing. Let's go on tour one more time. Just do it. Do it.
Like fly.
All right. Well, so that's the end of the All in the Name of Rock history for tonight. So we hope you enjoyed that. We've got a few more quick stories for you, and then we'll get TK out of here. So we're going to do this next one. Is called A New AC/DC Album is on the way. Reports seem to confirm that AC/DC has reunited with both Brian Johnson and Phil Rudd, and that a brand new album is on the way featuring rhythm tracks previously recorded by Malcolm, and they will be on the album. Behemoth frontman Nurgle recently said in an interview, "I know for a fact there's a new AC/DC album in the making with Malcolm. It's coming, and Brian Johnson is back in the band." Twisted Sister's Dee Snider also said on Twitter that he knows for a fact that Phil Rudd is back behind the drums, and that rest in peace Malcolm, but to have all four surviving members back together with tracks recorded by Malcolm coming out on this new album is going to be great. And of course, then they'll have Stevie, Malcolm's nephew, is going to replace him, when they go out on the road to replace the tour. So exciting news, another AC/DC album in the works with Malcolm Young on it, and I think that's pretty. Back in Black was a tribute to Bon Scott, and now we're going to get a tribute to Malcolm with Malcolm playing on it. I think that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. So cool.
Agreed.
All right. This next one's another feel good kind of story too.
Sort of. So as we kind of touched on last week, somebody had broke into Musonia and stolen a bunch of memorabilia and Randy's first guitar and several other items. These items have actually been found. They were found in a Hollywood dumpster.
Wow.
Seriously?
Ozzy Osbourne had actually publicly offered up a $25,000 reward in the return of the items. But a lady actually saw this stuff sitting in a dumpster, and then she goes home and sees the story on the news. And she saw it while she was walking her dog. She saw a guitar and some photographs in a dumpster in the area of Burbank Boulevard and Sunny Slope Avenue, and thought nothing of it. When she returned home, she saw the news of the robbery and that was gaining a national attention, and that Ozzy had offered a reward. She immediately returned to the dumpster to get the items out of the dumpster in pending rain. And she alerted the authorities who came to the scene and found a Depression era trumpet, which belonged to Randy's mother, Dolores.
Wow.
And so, most of the items were found. And
so
hopefully
my theory is kids broke in, stole the stuff, didn't realize what they had, didn't realize they were on national friggin' TV. Oh crap, threw it in the dumpster and like, yeah.
Well, no, it's more of, okay, we've got the stuff and now it's national.
Now what are we going to do with it?
Where are you
Sell
going to
it on
sell it?
Reverb?
You're not going to sell it anywhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, every pawn shop in the California area was alerted to Randy memorabilia for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. In a dumpster. Well, at least they got it back.
Yeah.
Most of it anyway.
At least most of it, yeah.
All right. So we're moving on. This next story is Willie quits weed.
No.
Yeah, seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
Country legend Willie Nelson says he has stopped smoking marijuana.
Why?
Because of breathing problems from smoking so much over the years. He claims it almost killed him. Willie, who still tours, is 86 years old.
God bless
says that performing live is one of the ways he stays in shape. Singing out there for an hour is a good workout, he says. Your lungs are the biggest muscle you've got. He explained to Houston's KSAT-TV recently in an interview. He said, I have abused my lungs quite a bit in the past, so breathing is a little more difficult these days, and I have to be careful. Nelson talked about his smoking habits during the interview with Rolling Stone magazine recently, and he said, I started smoking cedar bark. I'm like, I didn't even know you could smoke bark.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Then he said, yeah, that's when you're poor, you smoke bark. And he said, then I went from bark to cigarettes. He said the singer is assured that he no longer smokes at all. He's keeping a more conscientious eye on his health. And he says that however, he is completely convinced that marijuana saved his life because he says it gave him an alternate to smoking cigarettes and also to drinking, because he drank a lot of whiskey and he smoked a lot of cigarettes, and when he switched over to just smoking weed, he stopped the drinking and he stopped the smoking cigarettes. However, he didn't say anything about quitting to eat brownies. So
still eating the gummy bears.
he still can do the gummy bears and the brownies. So Willie quits weed. So there you go. Never thought we'd see the day, right?
Yeah.
All right, couple more for you, gang. One
All
more
right.
for you.
Oh, what's that down? I need you to blow that down there in the corner up. I can't really see that very well.
I didn't know Joan Jett was playing with them. I was just talking to my wife about this tour today.
Yes. So the tour dates are out, and
Tour dates are out. Yeah.
tour dates are out. There's a running bit that TK's not aware of in the lower right hand corner of the photograph, but that's okay.
So what is that?
That's Vince Neil.
Wow.
Who needs to eat a salad?
Well, didn't he do like a surgery or something?
Yeah, like back in 2003 or 4.
And it all came back, huh?
All back, yeah, and then some.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, the story was they were offered all this money to go on tour if Tommy Lee got cleaned up and Vince Neil lost a lot of weight. So we've had a running joke here the last few weeks on the show that Vince needs to eat a salad.
As long as he doesn't ask Google to remove the image, he'll be okay.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody, listen, we got like 150 subs. We're in no danger of anybody seeing this show.
So, anyway, the tour dates for 2020 for Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and Poison and Joan Jett are kickoff July 7th at Miami, Florida at the Hard Rock Stadium, July 9th at Orlando, Florida at Camping World Stadium, July 11th at Charlotte, North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium, July 14th, Arlington, Texas at Globe Life Field, July 15th, Houston, Texas at Minute Maid Park, July 19th, San Francisco, California at Oracle Park, July 23rd, San Diego, California at Petco Park, July 25th, in Phoenix, Arizona at the State Farm Stadium.
Phoenix, Arizona, that's where you live.
That's pretty close, yeah. Yes, Hack, it is. Let's see, August 9th in Atlanta, Georgia at SunTrust Park, Hershey, Pennsylvania on August 11th at Hershey Park Stadium, August 13th, Buffalo, New York at New Era Field, August 15th, Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park, August 16th in Pittsburgh. I'm just going to quit telling you the park. I'm just going to tell you the city now. August 18th, Milwaukee, August 20th in Detroit, August 22nd, Washington, D.C., August 23rd, Flushing, New York, August 25th, Boston, 28th is Chicago, Illinois, August 30th, Denver, Colorado, September 2nd, Seattle, Washington, and September 5th, Los Angeles. Now, there was a tweet sent out by Nikki Sixx yesterday, I believe I read, and he's talking about the fans that are saying, you're not coming anywhere close to you. He says, we hear you, whatever that.
Oh, in other words, there'll be a tour after the tour,
whatever that means. So
I've already seen Motley for the last time. I thought that's what I was told. I was told this will be the last time that I will see them.
All right.
All right. I like Motley, but they're not coming around here. All right, we got one more to close it out. This is the time of the year for ugly holiday sweaters. So we've got some ugly holiday sweaters for all of you metalheads for this year. This one is the Anthrax Happy Hanukkah ugly holiday sweater. And then we also have I believe this is the Foo Fighters. This one says Foo Fighters on. I'm sorry, the picture's a little small. It's about as big as I can make them. Let's see if I can blow them up. The Foo Fighters holiday sweater here. This is obviously the Gene Simmons Snowman ugly sweater with the church burning down in the background. You have to have the church burning down in the background. Right.
Where is that King Diamond? I mean, I don't know. It could be either way.
It could be King.
Actually, I think you're right. I think it's more King Diamond than Gene Simmons.
Yeah, it must be because it has the upside down cross with the charcoal for the belly button. Yeah. It's probably King Diamond. Yeah. And of course, then you have the Welcome to the Jingle, Guns N' Roses.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ugly sweater. The Metallica, possessed reindeer Grinch. It's definitely the Metallica Grinch. The Metallica Grinch. We have the Ozzy Osbourne Stole Christmas.
That's Ozzy as the Grinch. Yeah.
Ozzy as the Grinch. Then we have the Pantera Fucking Holiday. I'm just reading what it says on the sweater, folks.
Oh, man.
And the Queens of Stone Age with the dead reindeer who's been stabbed to death with candy canes.
And blown apart.
And to round it out, to end the show, we have the Slayer ugly Christmas sweater, ladies and gentlemen.
Who sells these sweaters?
I don't know. I found these on Live Nation. I can't.
Gotcha.
They didn't have links to where you could buy them, but obviously they're out there somewhere.
Out there somewhere.
So I don't know, man. So that brings us to the end of the
Show for
portion
this
of the
week.
show known as the Circuit Breakers. Sorry about that.
Have a very Merry Christmas. All right.
Man, TK, we did it. We got you under the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
You still got time to go run your errand. We want to thank everybody, all the live wire. We call our viewers the wire nuts because we're the live wires, right? So we want to thank all the wire nuts for joining in the chat. And if you're not already subbed to the Tone King, what the hell's wrong with you? But please go over there and sub immediately because he's closing in on the big 100K.
Okay. Let's get in that silver button, guys.
Yeah, hit the big.
I appreciate that. And guys, I just want to thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun, and I was really looking forward to this. And of course, always great to see familiar faces. And I love your show, by the way. I love your show.
Thank you.
I think what you're doing is brilliant. I love the segments. It's really just the 2 hours goes like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Really nice.
So next week, we are going to have another member of our community, somebody you see in the chat all the way around, and our special guest will be Todd Flowers.
Yeah.
So next week, same bat time, same bat channel. It'll be 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. my time and Tone King's time, December 18th. And we'll be back with another episode number 21.
Yeah. And
then tell them what we're going to do on Christmas.
Christmas, we've got a special. There will be no live show in our normal format. Christmas is actually going to be a compilation of our greatest or worst hits. We're going to put together a little show, including all of our favorite moments from the last 20 some odd episodes, and we'll set it up as a premiere, and I hope you all can come join us. I think that's going to be fun, but kind of a fitting way to send out the year. And then on New Year's Day, not New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, we have our first show of 2020 coming along your way.
What's your 2020 YouTube vision will be the theme
of the show, yeah. So, but anyway, everybody that was in the chat tonight, thank you all so much for coming, hanging out with us. Tone King, dude, I appreciate you agreeing to do this.
I thank you guys. The thanks goes to you.
Thanks for coming on our show. We really appreciate it. We hope everybody in the chat enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better. You know, we all watch all your videos, but now we know a little bit more about you as a person, and that's what our show is all about. So we really appreciate you coming on, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
it. Just so you know, you always have an open invitation here on my channel anytime. You're more than welcome.
Likewise. Thank you guys. Really, just
all right.
Wonderful time. And to everyone in the chat, it's awesome having you all here. Thank you for being here. Guys, thank you for having me. And, I think, what you're doing is awesome. I really enjoy it.
Cool.
We got to close out with these.
Throw one of these up for us there, Tone King. Throwing that bad boy up.
One of those. Leave you off with one of those bad boys right there.
That'll send us out. Can't get any better than that. Thanks everybody for watching the show. We really appreciate you.
Take care, everyone.